Sorry for the delay, everybody. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Aetherplasm. I'm wearing this funky getup right now because of the fact that I'm dipping coral right now, and I'll go a little bit more into that when I get downstairs. I had some issues setting up my phone initially, and if you don't know, apparently when FedEx says they're going to deliver something at 2 p.m. or by 2 p.m., they actually mean 3:30. So I didn't want to take any longer than I absolutely had to in order to get this stuff going, because coral is a finicky thing, it's sensitive. So we will jump to down there and I'll kind of talk through what we've been doing and what we're going to be doing for the rest of the video here. So the only thing that you've missed is me opening up a bunch of plastic bags and putting them into a bucket of water. So let's see if the video is working now. Okay, we do have video down there. All right, so I'm going to switch over. Plasma trying to run downstairs, and this is not somewhere where she should be. I think I found something that's going to let me check to see if the headphone set's actually working. Bear with me for a moment. I need to make sure you guys can actually hear me. Hello. Turn it up. Testing, testing. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, cool. I'm not going to have that continue going so you guys don't get a loop or whatever, but now I can actually see if you guys can see what I'm doing. So, the only thing that you've missed, and I'm glad that I was having trouble with the phone app, so to get it to use it as a camera because I'm using my phone as another webcam. But they send them in these bags that are completely filled with water with the names and everything. It says Top Shelf Aquatics, which is where I got all these from. And so I puncture all the bags, put the extra water into this bucket, and now, let me kind of show you a little bit. They are in a coral dip. And what that looks like is they are in here. Doesn't look super exciting at the moment because they really pop when they actually get under the lights. But in there is some medicated water, basically, that what we do is, let me kind of see if I can set this back up over here. I think that's good. We kind of have this little calendar thing that we move the water around. So what it does is making sure there's no extra like worms or any sort of like bugs or like things that could be detrimental to the reef or the ecosystem in there. So you let it sit in there for about 8 to 10 minutes. That's what I started. I just didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to have them waiting any longer while I was fiddling with the phone out. And sorry if you hear me sniffling. It's because these are very hot, and that's making my nose really itchy for some reason, I guess. Maybe it's my own breath. Either way. Oh, there's dogwood flying by right now. It literally looks like snow outside my window. That's probably why. Forgive me. They've got a couple more minutes here, and then we're going to transfer them to this smaller bucket, kind of behind this thing. The smaller bucket has fresh, clean salt water in it. And that fresh, clean salt water, we'll rinse it, and then we're going to just put them into the sand bed. Okay. I think we're back. Sorry, I had the alarm on my phone, which was silly of me. Okay. I'm going to grab a tool. I think it's out over here. It is. So, the reason why I'm wearing a mask, it's not because I'm worried that the coral's going to give me COVID. It's because corals actually can release something called, or different toxins. I'm waiting to make sure that it actually comes back. There we go. Okay, there's just a delay on the thing. Okay. Corals can release different toxins. Some of them can spray it. If you get those toxins in your eyes, it could cause serious damage, sometimes blindness. So, it's very important to wear eye protection. This is just the most convenient eye protection I had around the house because I work in healthcare, and I haven't actually used this in a COVID patient room. They had some for us. This is just some extras that they gave us at the beginning of lockdown and everything, in order to keep us safe. So what you do, you go in, make sure that you have your sleeve rolled up, and then you have a secondary towel ready. Because what you're going to do, you pick a piece that you want, coral number 1 out of 21, and then what you do, take it in this other water, you shake it around in the clean salt water. The reason why I use the forceps is because you don't really want to get that stuff on your fingers. It's not terrible for you, but it's just not a good idea. And then you take it and insert it somewhere into your tank in the sand bed. Just for now. Okay. And then you try to be careful when it comes to getting out. And then you rinse and repeat, quite literally. So, let's go ahead and rinse these bad boys off. And I'm hoping to be able to show you guys, depending on the quality of my phone camera and the lighting and everything, what all these look like once they're under the actual aquarium lights, because there are differences. They look 100% different. Right now, they just kind of look like crazy black and different, like, dark color things. But once you actually get them into the aquarium, I was silly. I went and put my hand in the. It'll be. It's not. It's like a citric kind of like mild citric acid. But it's mixed with, it's diluted with water, so it's not really harmful. It's just not something you want to repeatedly put your hand to. It'll dry your skin. Some people can have reactions to it. I've done it before. It doesn't give me reactions, but I don't want to, test the theory too much either. Give it a good rinse here. Now, there's different types of coral. So, I'll show you kind of what the different types are once I can get all these into the sand bed here. There are some that are called small polyp stony corals. There are some that are called large polyp stony corals. And there are some that are called softies. And then there are some that are called, let's see, large polyps, small polyps, swampies. Which one did I miss? Kind of like an in-between. They're not like true soft, just straight soft corals, but they don't really have a hard skeleton to speak of. And the one thing in the aquarium hobby that you have to know is you can never be afraid to get your arm wet. Because most times you'll come home and you realize that there's a frag being a fragment of coral, somewhere out of place. You need to do something about that, otherwise, you know, it won't be too happy. Or you need to clean the glass if there gets some algae build up on it, that kind of stuff. All common things when it comes to being in the aquarium hobby here. Do a little rinse. Now the nice thing is, so I mentioned those toxins, right? The things you don't want to get into your eyes. Well, people say, well, shouldn't I be worried about keeping, you know, these coral in my tank if they could be toxic? Surprisingly enough, the way to get the toxins off is to rinse your hand in water or salt water. So if you are handling these corals, and you are concerned about the toxins, you literally can just kind of, you know, move your fingers around in the salt water and everything before, you know, doing anything else. But then also you should always just wash your hands no matter what after you're done with this stuff, because you just don't want to, you really don't want to just chance it, you know. But the water, you don't even need soap. Water will denature the toxins. That's why the ocean is completely filled with coral toxins, because once it gets a certain distance away from the coral, like on the reefs, it doesn't do anything. It just is inert. Making it a little bit hard to see with the fog on the inside of the shield, but that's okay. The safety is worth it. Better to avoid anything in your eyes than it is to possibly never see something with your eyes again because you got it in your eyes. Now, some people swear by drip acclimating coral, where you slowly acclimatize them to the parameters of your tank, which takes quite a while. And I have done that in the past, but after significant research, I've come to find that coral is actually very resilient to some changes. It's more important to get them into oxygenated water again than it is to, put that like over here, oxygenated water than it is to worry too much about exactly, you know, getting them 100% used to the new water. So if you think about it on reefs, when the tide goes out, sometimes water is actually, or the reef is actually exposed. And it needs to be able to protect itself from the air. So it's not uncommon for a coral to spend some time, you know, in the air, and then it has to adjust to whatever the water chemistry is once the tide comes back in. If I didn't say it before, I didn't make it clear enough. So this is Top Shelf Aquatics stuff right here. They have some incredible quality product. That one they said it was almost one that you want to put in the shade. And they did a really good job shipping these. They came in intact and everything. They look really good. Some of them are going to take a while to open up. That's okay. They were shipped overnight, so they haven't been, you know, too bad, but they've also been in complete darkness for, you know, more than, like, probably close to 24 hours. Now, the interesting thing about shipping overnight, as we found out today, is that it is very common, unfortunately, for some corals or some shipping companies to be a little underwhelming in their performance. and ours arrived quite a bit late. So that's why I kind of rushed, and I was like, oh no, the phone app isn't working. I'm not gonna waste time. I'm not gonna sit here and try to get these try to get this working and try to get the stream going when I really just need to get them into the tank. So I went ahead and did that, and then had a moment to sit while the dip was going. And I was like, okay, I'll try again. And all of a sudden, boom, like magic, it worked. At least I assume it worked. I think I can still see myself on stream over there. Okay. Now, eventually, so what I'm doing right now, I'm putting them all in the sand bed because I want them to go and I want them to acclimate to the light in my tank. So even though, you know, it'll meet all the requirements and everything, it's still a little bit different. They've been in the dark for a while, a little bit longer than they normally would, like say overnight. So in order not to shock them or something, I am going through and just putting them on basically the lowest part of the tank in the sand bed, right? And then that will allow them to sit there and acclimate. Whew, let's see if I can get this off now. All right, a lot cooler. So, there we have it. They're in there. I'll give you a close-up view in a second here after drowning in. Now, the other thing that you want to make sure that you do when you're dipping corals, you always want to look at the bottom of your dipping container to see if anything came off. And I honestly don't see anything. At least anything that would be concerning to me, like any bristleworms, anything like that. But I mean, part of that is just a testament to how high quality of an institution Top Shelf Aquatics is. You know, they bag everything really well, they grow their corals really, really well, they have great customer service. Overall, just great people to work with. Just making sure I haven't missed any here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, good. We have 21 corals in the tank now. Ooh, some of them are starting to open up already. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of a close-up. I don't know how well these are going to come through. I do have some filters on the way. The filters will be able to show a little bit better these different corals. So you can kind of see how some of them are lighting up. They're kind of like crazy bright color and everything. What happens with that crazy blue on my phone is that the lights have a very, very solid blue spectrum to them. And that's why I'm gonna have that filter, because it'll make it easier to see what's actually going on with them. But you can see some of them are starting to open up a little bit. They were really closed before. And once they just kind of get used to the tank, I'll move them to their final locations because I'm actually gonna putty them onto the rockwork into various places. So, but everything's looking bright. And I can tell you, I know that it's hard for you to see, but from my perspective, and I can tell, things look like they survived the journey pretty darn well. So, really pleased about that. Yeah, some of the polyps are already coming out on some of them, which is good. And I can't wait to have the filter so I can really show you guys the colors of these things. Because it looks so much different to the human eye than it does on the phone, because it's basically whited out but with blue, if that makes any sense. Oh, we got that one over there. I might move that one out a tiny bit, but it's fine for now. Low level light is what it needed with a lower flow, and that's the perfect spot for it over there. So yeah, that is how you add corals to your tank. Next comes fish, right? We've been talking about that. It's gonna be a little while, at least. The fish store has some of them in, but not all of them, and they want to acclimate them to each other in the store before sending them home with me, so that way they don't try to hurt each other or something, because if they're not used to being around each other, then it can cause an issue. Make sure that we're still working here. Did it pause? What's going on? I think we're good. There's just a major delay. There's a major delay. There's a major delay on the stream. That's hard for me to tell. But yeah, so once I get that filter in, you can expect on Twitter, I'm going to go ahead and post pictures of the different corals and everything that I got. Ooh, we got someone in the chat. Coral! Show them under the blues when you get that. Have that clean. What gosh are you getting? What fish am I getting? So I am getting, so the ones that the fish store has right now are a purple tang, a yellow tang, a very young yellow tang, a blue-sided fairy wrasse, a powder brown tang, and then they're also working on acquiring a red sea sailfin tang for me, a blue hippo tang, and then of course we have the ones we already had, which are the snowflake clowns, a leopard wrasse, a Bengai cardinal, which I know everybody here knows exactly what all those are, and then of course I'm waiting to find out if we're going to have mandarins in here. Mandarins are adorable. They are very, very notoriously hard to take care of. However, if they can get them to eat pellets and brine shrimp and stuff at the aquarium store, then I feel comfortable taking them home with me and trying them on the tank. But they're like this big, like full grown, they're like maybe this big. They're incredibly bright colored and everything. So they're very, very beautiful. They're like a rainbow of colors. Most of the things in the tank that I have a lot of variation of color, just because I like that overall crazy combination. But yeah, Taylor HN, or Taylor, part of the reason why, or sorry, if I turn on blues right now, it's actually going to get worse with the colors. So once I get those, I have, it literally clips onto your phone. It was like a $10 set of filters that you clip onto your phone, and then it just cancels out some of the blue lights. You can actually see the overall radiant colors from the coral and not just have it washed out in the background. So we'll get there. But yeah, so there's that. It's kind of crazy looking at it because I mean it's taken. This was initially conceptualized a long time ago, but like the initial order for the tank took place in February, before February because we moved here. It took place so we moved in January. So I think the initial order took place in December, and we didn't get the tank itself until April 23rd. And then from there, it's been about 2 months, well, a month and a half, I guess. And it is finally all coming together, little by little. But that's the way that this hobby works, is you really, really have to be patient with everything. You can't just rush it, otherwise bad things are gonna happen. I do have quite a bit of reef keeping experience, thankfully. I've been caring for a saltwater tank for at least 8 years. I did the math the other day. I think it was actually, maybe it was 7 years. 7 years. So I definitely, I know the successes, I know the failures. It doesn't mean that you're never gonna have a failure. That's the other thing. You have to be okay with sometimes things just not working out in an aquarium. Whether it's coral unexpectedly dying, whether it's mysterious fish death. You do everything that you possibly can. You know, you gotta get from a good source, you gotta make sure that they're healthy when you get them, all these things, you gotta make sure you know how to take care of them. But every once in a while, you know, random stuff can happen. You know, you don't know what happens in shipping or whatever. That can mess with things. But I can't wait because fish are the next step. You know, this thing's really gonna look like reef. Now these all start really small, obviously. They're all like this big. They're very, very, very tiny. But let them grow out and give enough time and enough nurturing and enough care, and they will make this thing look like a legitimate coral reef, a slice of the ocean in your own home. So, with that, I think, what kind of coral did you get? Okay, so there's quite a few of them. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna look over. I want to see which mystery ones I got because I got 7 mystery coral. They were coral that I didn't know, I didn't pick, and it was just like up to them. So one of them is a Montipora, which doesn't mean a lot to you guys, but it's named Season Greetings. A Montipora is kind of a plating, small polyp stony coral. seasoned greenies, which I actually think is kind of awesome because I'm big into Christmas. And it's an easier to take care of small polyp stunning coral. So I did get a Christmas chalice piece. That's the one that's sitting over here in kind of in low light. We got Kelly Green. It's called Asani, Asamacora. We got a Mega Chrome Montipora. We got quite a few Montipora. Montipora, like I said, they grow really fast in my experience in the past, and they also are relatively easy to care for, so that's why I was interested. We did get a couple of what are known as acros, though, or like a little bit more difficult small polyp sooty coral. And there is, they're kind of over there. They're the ones that look more like a traditional, what people think of when they think of coral, where you get the fingers kind of coming out. We call them sticks in the hobby. But this one is called a yellow tip. This one was a mystery LPS, and it is a Tyree blue chalice. And I think that means that chalice definitely needs to go into kind of a low flow, lower light environment. But it's on the sand bed, so it should be fine. I'll take a look to find what that one was. We got chili pepper Montipora. So we have two of the mysteries here. So we have a mystery Monty, mystery LPS. Let's look at the other mysteries and find what we got. We had mystery SPS, which is known as frog skin. So I don't know, I think that one was one of the greener ones over there. That's why it's called frog skin, not green. Here's a mystery LPS that is just called Bling Bling. I'm pretty sure that is a, it's either a lepto or a cephastria. Again, you're not really gonna know what those are, but it has these bright gold spots, bright gold eyes all over it. It's really, really cool. So there's one of the mystery LPS. I had 3 mystery LPS, 3 mystery SPS, and 1 mystery monthly. So I've figured out 2 of the mystery. Okay, so mystery SPS is called The Thing, which that's a rather expensive piece. So the nice thing about the mystery was you paid a set amount, right? Like you might pay $15 for a frag of it. And you don't know what it is, but it could have something a lot higher value. Thing by Top Shelf Aquatics is a higher value coral, so that was actually very cool. They sent that along as the mystery. Let's see. I did get some Utter Chaos Zoas, which are something because I mean it's Chaos Reef. You have to have something with a chaotic coral name, right? What else do we have here? Fruity Pebbles Monty is one I'm crazy excited about because it's a blue Monty with yellow and like red polyps. Polyps are the little things that stick out of the coral that you can see waving sometimes. Eventually we'll hopefully get like a close-up and stuff of these things. It'll come out better in pictures. I don't really have a camera that can do macro at all right now besides my phone. A Superman Monty, which is similar. We got lots of different colors. It's a Montipora. Purple Monster Zoas. I'm looking for that other mystery. The other mystery ones. The Blue Macaw Zoa. Zoas are almost like little flowers. They're more of a soft coral. They have a head that pops up and they're bright colored. They're closed up right now because they're grumpy. But once I'll hopefully get some better pictures of them. Mystery SPS, a green Stylophora. Okay, so I know that one. It kind of looks like cauliflower once it grows out. And then Rainbow Recordia. Yep, I knew about that one. What about this one? This is another chili pepper, because I remember I accidentally got 2 of those, but one of them was free, and I was just kind of going as fast as I could. Because part of the way that this sale worked that they did, Top Shelf Aquatics, was you was on a forum, Reef to Reef, and what you did was they would post a link only available to people on that forum. And it was a race, whoever could check out first in order to get it if it was like a really good deal. Some of them were literally free. Well, one of the free ones that I got, I had accidentally bought for like $5 already, but I didn't, you can't cancel your order, and it still looked really cool. So, okay, here's the other, I forgot, the other mystery LPS is actually an Ultra Aiken. So I'm really excited to see what that looks like once it's feeling better. That one's actually up here in the front. I'm gonna write down the names of the ones that were mysteries so that way I can look up their care requirements and everything. Because every one of them's a little bit different, some of them like high light and high flow, some of them like low light and low flow, some of them like low light and high flow, some of XY, it's tons and tons and tons of things. What about these last 2 here? Let's see. Oh, that's just one bag. And that was the Madman Fabia. That was another one that was a little bit expensive that I managed to get a crazy good deal on. had the fast fingers and was able to snag them. Let me see if any of this stuff's opening up a little bit more. Let me see, which one's a chalice? Okay, so I see the chili peppers and the fruity pebbles coming out. Ooh, the udder zoas are poking out. I see the fabia, the madman fabia. Where is, there's the sami, where is the other chalice? You don't look like a chalice unless you only, maybe you are, maybe you just have one eye, which is possible. So chalice, I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. They kind of almost go out in kind of like a pancake sort of style, and they have these bright spots, these big spots that they're called eyes, that they end up having, which are very colorful and bright. Trying to, okay, so let me just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, okay, so it's got to be this one. It's got to be this one over here. That is the, other chalice, the tiger blue chalice. But I'm happy to see already that some of the zoas are opening up, because that's a good sign. The SPS are definitely more finicky. They're the ones that are definitely more fragile, but I'm hoping that we'll have some good luck with them in here. If not, if I don't have luck with the SPS, as far as like the sticks they call them, then I'm prepared to make this more into like an LPS, a large polyp stony tank with maybe some Montipora thrown into it too. I only actually got three of the typical like sticks that are harder to do, and I got them all on crazy good deals. So if for some reason they don't do well, then it's not the end of the world. I want them to do well, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. The Recordia is looking healthy, looking good. It's got some bright colors. The Recordia is a mushroom, and it's not an actual mushroom. Like you wouldn't want to cook it up and try to eat it. Let me see if I can get kind of a closer view over here of the Recordia. Might be able to see some of this on the side of the tank. It's pretty darn blue. I wonder if I can adjust the settings at all from here. Maybe, what's that do? Does that do anything? No. Chroma key. That. It's not really doing a ton for me here. I don't really see other ways that I can do this, but okay, so I'll try to zoom in here. So you see the green one in the back. That is a small polyp stony coral. Right in front of it is a Recordia, which you can't really, it's very, very blue, but you can see a tiny bit of color from it. In real life, it's very bright to the human eye. This one right here that's very blue, again, they're all just looking at very blue, is one of the chalices. Behind it there is the Montipora. So on the right is one of those sticks that we were talking about, one of the harder ones to keep. And then there's also a Zoa that's closed up at the moment. Here's another stick. And then these are, so right in front there on the bottom is Montipora. Up to the left of that is a Stylophora. That's a small polyp stony. That is easier to keep. I've had luck with those before. And then we have this one right here. You can see a little bit of color coming off of. That's another, it's called Thing. It's actually bright green. Like, to my eye is literally bright green. It's just not coming through the camera very good. Another Montipora. This is the Fruity Pebbles Montipora, which I really can't wait to show you guys once open. You can kind of see a tiny bit of the brightness from the colors of the polyps that are coming out. It is crazy cool. It's a blue, it's like a bright blue flesh with light yellow polyps. This is, I believe, the one that's slowly opening up is Purple Monsters, which are a type of Zoa. The one right next to it is a Fabia. That's a large polyp stony. Behind it is the Utter Chaos. You can kind of see it sparkling in the back. Those are a fan favorite for a lot of people, including me. These, I don't know if these are the macaw. I think that might be the blue macaws. The blue macaw Zoa, or maybe the blue macaw Zoa is over here. Not really sure. We'll see when they open up. And then we have another Montipora here. I think that's the Ultra Chrome. We've got that, which I don't remember it. But behind it, you can't really see the colors right now, but that one that I'm focusing on right now is actually, I think that's the bling bling. It's got these bright yellow eyes all over it. This is an Ultra Aiken in front here. The flesh isn't out that far on that yet, so it's still grumpy. So the way that coral works is there's a hard skeleton under a lot of it. That's a chalice over there. There's a hard skeleton under a lot of it. And that hard skeleton gives structure to the coral. But there's a flesh, too, almost like the meat of the coral. And that actually gets sucked into the hard bone of the coral when it's grumpy, or whether it's at night and it's closed off and it doesn't need to be open. But in shipping, it can often, be kind of more closed off and everything. So it takes a while for them to open up. It could be a few days before all the polyps come out on these things, as they acclimate to my tank. And just fingers crossed everything goes well. All my parameters were in check with where they need to be. Nitrates were good, pH is good. All of the trace components, I'm using really, really good salt mix that should, until those colonies are big, honestly, I wouldn't even necessarily have to dose the tank with, like, say, calcium or alkalinity or something, because the salt mix that I use to do water changes with, or to just is so good at what it does. I mean, it's Tropic Baron. It's a company out of Germany. They make pharmaceutical grade aquarium salt. I'm still focused. I'm like, why does the image look so weird? At least I have the iPad down here so I can kind of do. Let's zoom back so we can actually see the rest of this thing. How's that? Okay, so yeah, and then as far as the fish go and everything, one of the interesting things about it is the fish I'm getting are very utilitarian fish. So a lot of people will have snails that they'll put into their tank as cleanup crew. However, I'm going to have the fish as the cleanup crew. They're fish that like to graze on algae, and they're going to be going around doing their thing, and they'll pick at the rockwork all day, basically, and that is going to kind of defeat the purpose of having snails. Now, they won't really clean the glass. The glass isn't too dirty at all, but I do have a scrubber. It's a specific for aquarium use only scrubber, not like your typical sponge. It's up over there. I'll get it out later and kind of show you guys it a different day when we do tank maintenance videos. But underneath the tank, you can kind of see I have it open. This is the sump, so all the water that is up in the tank goes through these black things on the sides, and it goes down into this over here, which I have hard plumbed, so that way is nice and there's no leaks and everything. Mrs. Plasm was very gracious on me with that, as well as Ben. And once it goes through the sump, it gets filtered by a protein skimmer down here, which you can't really see, it's behind this black thing. And then it goes and gets pumped back up to the tank, so it circulates all the water, and that's what helps keep the water nice. But yeah, I think that's all for now. I'll be anxious to see once this stuff really opens up and colors up, but again, it could be a few days. So make sure that you're following the channel, so that way you can see the updates. You can follow me on Twitter as well. I'll probably post some TikTok videos once I get the filter in of some things. And then this video will also show up on YouTube. So I'll head upstairs again so that I can switch back over to the normal desktop setting before I get all this stuff cleaned up down here. Because that's the other thing is, anything with fishing hobby, you can always assume he's going to make a little bit of a mess. Did get a tiny bit of water on the carpet, that's okay. That's what the towels are for. But hold on, I will be back. And just like that, we're back upstairs. So, a little bit different stream, a little bit different than normal. We had some technical difficulties, but hey, it wouldn't be an Aetherplasm stream if it didn't have technical difficulties, right? But I'm excited. Everything looks good for now. You know, it's always, initially it's hard to tell, but it looked healthy when it arrived. There wasn't any hitchhikers that I had to use that coral dip to really take care of. And it seems like everything went into the tank okay. We're just going to keep an eye on things and see if we need to adjust things as it goes. So, thank you for joining me this afternoon, evening, I guess now. Hope you had a good time. If you did, make sure to hit that follow button. If you had a great time, make sure to hit that subscriber button, because it would really help me out as far as continuing to make things for the channel, you know? Trying to help make this thing kind of a self-sufficient thing. Excuse me. But if you do become a subscriber to the channel, which you can do with Amazon Prime, by the way, for free, doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you have Amazon Prime, highly recommend trying that out. You can get access to these custom emotes that I have drawn up myself. And I'll do some more drawing on, the stream at a different time. So you can enjoy that there. Other than that, unless anybody has any questions, I am going to say sayonara for this evening. I don't know if I'll be back at all this weekend. I wouldn't plan on it. So plan on the next time that you see me being Tuesday night for the normally scheduled stream time at 7 p.m. with, I believe, Ben and Papa Sarkis doing some more Minecraft. We need to find that blue axolotl. I was looking it up online, and it is incredibly low spawn rate. But there are a couple of things that we might be able to do in order to increase our chances of finding it. For now, though, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and you have a good weekend if you're headed that way, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.